Hey, Gato Jazz, you know why you are here? Neither do I, but I will make sure it's gonna be worth it. By the way, before we get started, did you know that according to a study published by the University of York in 2016, learning Spanish is much easier than learning Sumerian? Alright, let's see what we can learn today. I've got it! Does it also happen to you that you don't really know when to use I and when to use ESTÁ? I'm asking because I get the impression that you don't have it completely clear. I mean, could you tell me the difference between saying hay un café en la mesa and el café está en la mesa? Well, then stick around to find out. First of all, let me tell you a quick story. On top of Spanish, my sister speaks German and English. Well, one day I was talking to her and we were comparing the languages we speak, like whether German is similar to French in this way, or English is more basic in that way, or Spanish is... At one point in the conversation, I went full linguist mode and started talking about grammar. My sister quickly me paró los pies, telling me she had absolutely no clue about grammar, and that when people talk to her about complemento directo, complemento indirecto, concordancia, tiempos compuestos o tiempos simples, all that is Akkadian to her. Surprised and poniendo una cara parecida a esta, I thought, wait, so she speaks 3 languages and doesn't have a clue about grammar? I don't get it. I'm telling you this story because, yeah, it's true that you don't actually need to know grammar to learn a new language, but definitely helps. In sentences like hay un café en la mesa and el café está en la mesa, bearing grammar in mind can be a huge help because the key to both of these sentences is all in the subject, el sujeto. El café o un café. If you knew the difference between el artículo indefinido un y el artículo determinado el, I wouldn't have to be making this video. What's the difference? Easy. If you say un café, it could be my coffee, your coffee, this coffee, that coffee, Arabica coffee, Robusta coffee, an espresso, a cappuccino, a latte macchiato, an americano. On the other hand, el café can only be this coffee. 100% café arábica, con un intenso aroma y un sabor increíble. Café? Well, that's the exact same difference between using I and está. Check this out. Hay un móvil en la mesa. I have no clue whose phone it is, but there's a phone on the table. El móvil está en la mesa. I'm talking about your phone. You always leave it lying around. One of these days, you are gonna lose it. Remember that even though I'm using I, está, él, and an in the example, it's not always like that. It all depends on the subject. ¡Maldito sujeto! See, we are back to grammar. Hay un coche aparcado en el garaje. Hay unos niños jugando en el parque. Hay una mujer paseando al perro. Hay unas bicicletas en el jardín. El coche está aparcado en el garaje. Los niños están jugando en el parque. La mujer está paseando al perro. Las bicicletas están en el jardín. You got it! Well, well, well. I think it's time to challenge you. Vamos a hacer un ejercicio. Yo pregunto y tú contestas. Por 3,1416 millones, ¿quién es el padre de Luke Skywalker? Not like that. By the way, if the answer I gave you isn't exactly the one you had in mind, that's fine. The important thing is that you use I and está o están correctly. ¿Tienes Kleenex? Sí, hay en el cajón de la habitación. This one is special because it can be also answered like están en el cajón. ¿Hay Kleenex? Sí, están en el cajón de la habitación. ¿Dónde está el papel para la impresora? El papel está en el cajón del escritorio. Here, we can also answer as follows. ¿Hay papel en el cajón del escritorio? ¿Hay papel para la impresora? Sí, hay papel en el cajón del escritorio. ¿Y el mando? Está encima del sofá. ¿Has visto mi teléfono? Está al lado de la cama. ¿Dónde has puesto mi abrigo? Está en el armario de la entrada. You see, I told ya, learning Spanish is easier than learning Sumerian.